Hello and welcome to day 29. It baffles me that to this day, 29, I still struggle to get up from bed. It is still difficult for me to move my lazy ass and do the things, and once again I was struggling with thoughts proposing to me that, hey, what about I will get up like half an hour later and I will simply meditate in the afternoon. Thank fuck another thought came in that said, hey, what about you just get up? I followed that thought. I'm not sure if as much as I did so by choice or as much I did it simply because randomly I chose to believe in this one. Maybe it was just a roll of a dice and nothing else. But it will be far, far better if none of those thoughts would actually happen. See, the biggest difficulty that I'm finding in motivating myself and disciplining myself to do absolutely anything at all is this constant chatter in my head. Very persuasive thoughts offering different solutions. If they wouldn't be there and I simply would live with what reality presents itself as, and the reality was presenting itself as the alarm clock, and I would simply respond to it appropriately, which is turning off the alarm, getting up, and getting on with my day, it will be far, far easier. And all the arguments of the thoughts are always disguising themselves as if there would be something coming out of the real world, and they are not. The argument, oh, I'm tired, I didn't sleep well, it is all true, but this does not bother me nearly as much as actually being undecisive. Making a decision sucks. Making a decision is difficult and requires a lot of energy. That's why discipline is so difficult. Imagine that you could only do one decision. You make a decision for life, I will meditate every single fucking morning. That's one decision. Every single morning. I'll just do it. I'll get up, go to the bathroom, wash my hands, because I am a civilized fucking being, and then go and meditate. That's what I'll do. And then every single morning, there's no re-questioning of this thing. There are no questions because one decision has been made. Instead, I have to make a decision, and I'm not shitting you all, every single fucking day. About meditating, about healthy eating. About healthy eating, I think I'm making actual decisions around 20 times a day. Refusing to eat the things that are unhealthy for me and instead go and move my ass and cook the things that are healthy for me. So I think it's around 20 decisions a day. About working out. Whenever it's a day off, that's fine. That's a fine day. But whenever I actually do go to the gym, oh geez. Other decisions. I'm always going to the gym between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Always. But there are always thoughts that are proposing me going later, going the other day. Whenever I'm there, go easy on myself. Don't push myself too hard. This is what makes things actually difficult. An ability to stick with one decision. If I would be able to stick with one decision for life, no discipline will be required, because that's exactly a discipline. The problem is that reality is very liquidy. Reality is not a firm piece of material that stays the same all the time. Reality is a constant change because our reality is being trapped in time. Time passes by, at its own constant tempo, and you can't do anything about it at all. And so because of that, things are changing. And because of that, you need to change your decisions. You cannot make one decision and stick with that decision till the end of the days, because reality around you changes. I actually did have days when I couldn't sit zazen first thing in the morning. I simply couldn't do it. Something came up. I actually have one particular day in my head where I had absolutely no chance to sit zazen in the morning, and I did sit zazen in the afternoon. I couldn't do anything about it. Something came up. That's it. And you need to adapt to the change. So that happened once. It happened once in a month. It's day 29. It happened once in the whole month, where the circumstances forced me to do differently than I planned for myself. But how many times I actually had to make a decision because of the voices in my head, not because of the external circumstances, because they were so persuasive. Zazen, I believe, helps a little with creating a bit of a distance from these thoughts, so that it is a little easier to realize that a chatter happens and you got your shit to do anyway. So this is how my day is going. Millions and millions of decisions happening all at once. Requesting my permission or my denial. All about the same stuff. And maybe partly it is so because I am not 100% in. I am not 100% in the change that I am invoking on myself. I'm not 100% in because otherwise there will be no doubts. There will be no looking for excuses. There will be no laziness. Because whenever someone is completely obsessed, let's take the example that is like a little bit on the edge, because these examples are the best. They present the subject in the clearest manner there is. When someone is completely obsessed with something, this person is not having any easier than you, but certainly they have far less doubts. They just go for it. They go all in because they really, really care about it. They want it, and they want it more than anybody else. And you know what? This is something that I've been thinking about lately. That's something that I've heard from commentaries on Musashi's Doku. Someone proposed the idea that what about the success is not as much about discipline as it is about the character. What if it is simply about wanting something more badly? Because in the critical moment of the greatest weakness, if one person chooses to pursue its passion instead of pursuing the pleasure, this person will win. Even if this person will be only by the small bit better. Only by the smallest bit better. They would still win. They would still win and would take everything. And this made me thinking, what if I never achieved anything glorious, anything of value, any sort of career, anything that I'll be proud of, anything great at all, because I never wanted it all that much in the end? I actually find it quite true. It didn't take me much to ponder about a subject to realize that it is actually true. I never wanted much in my life. That's why I never got much. The problem is that I really, really like my simple little life. I really like my simple job that I'm having. I could live without doing it, don't get me wrong, but the thing is that I have something that I enjoy doing, that I'm good at, and that provides me with sufficient amount of money for me to get by. And getting by, my life, just getting by, is just great. Living in a little cottage, playing video games, recording this podcast. I like all this. I like all this the way it is. And I think that my journey is, at least partially, about preserving it. Not improving, but preserving. For me to have my little life, I do need to be at great health. Mental and physical. That is this part of the journey that actually is happening. But a little bit more than that. Because I am being worn off by video games quite often. This is just too much. It also contributes quite heavily to the constant chatter in my head. Pursuing something meaningful would actually help me to sustain my little life. In the end, the thing that I've been always interested in, because my philosophical interest arose very early, when I was a kid. Way too early, I would say, honestly. That's something I used to be proud of. Whenever I was this kid, I was kind of proud of it, that I am interested in such lofty manners, and so many great things. But now thinking about it, just wasted my childhood, and I gained absolutely nothing out of that. But anyway, the first big intellectual pursuit of mine, was in the middle school. Whenever I try to find something that is not passing, something that never fades away, something that is immortal, something that is constant. At that time, I found God. Later on, I realized it's probably not that. And today, many years later, around 15 years later actually, maybe more than that, I think the only constant thing is change. And it's in all this whirl of changes, I just want to have my little life preserved. I need to be in a good physical condition. I need to be in a good mental condition. For the second part, I believe that pursuing something meaningful will also be in place. Therefore, it is possible that in the upcoming few days, I'll actually make a big announcement. And on the side of me keep on meditating and caring about myself and doing a progress in there and trying to lose weight, I will add another thing that will be adding meaning to my life. But more on that in the other episode, because this episode is long enough already. Thank you so much for listening. And you stay strong, people. Stay strong so that you can be weak. That's my reason. I want to be strong so that I can just live my simple life with my lovely fiancée, playing my video games, and just being able to live and see another day and do the same all over again. And for that, you need to be strong. Thank you.